Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make blackberry wine. The equipment you need is as follows. You will need a fermentation bucket, a Demijohn with an airlock. You will need some yeast. I'm using a burgundy red yeast, some yeast nutrient, Pectic. You will also need 1.5 kilos of blackberries, and you will also need 1.2 kilos of sugar. I'm just using white granulated sugar. The blackberries I have washed. You will also need 4.5 litres of boiling water. So the first stage of the process is to pick your blackberries, of course, and then give them a wash and then put them into your bucket. Now you need to make sure that your equipment is absolutely clean. If it's not clean, you could risk contamination of your wine. So first of all, we are going to tip all of the blackberries into the bucket. Okay, and on top of the blackberries, we are going to add 4.5 litres of boiling water. Before we add the water, we need to take a potato masher and just gently mash the blackberries. Very gently, we don't want to crush the pips. We're just gently mashing them to try and extract some of the juice. So I've just crushed the berries there. To the berries, you then add your sugar. You then need to add 4.5 litres of boiling water. So you then want to give it a little bit of a stir, just to help that sugar to dissolve. Now the boiling water will kill off any bugs, any wild yeasts or bugs or anything that are in there. So you shouldn't need to add a Camden tablet. Okay, so what we need to do now is leave this to cool down. So I'm just going to pop a lid on it, and it needs to get to about 20 degrees for it to cool down. Okay, so the blackberry juice now has cooled down to sort of room temperature, and now is the time to add the pectic enzyme, Pectic. So it's 1 teaspoon that you need to add. Here we go. You just sprinkle that over and stir that in. And you now need to leave that for 12 to 24 hours, or I'm just going to leave it overnight until the morning, and then we'll come back to this in the morning. Pop the lid on. Okay, so the next thing you need to do after leaving it overnight, you've let it cool down, is to add the yeast nutrient. You just need 1 teaspoon of yeast nutrient. Give that a stir in. And next is your yeast. Like I said, I'm using a burgundy yeast, and you just need to sprinkle this over the surface. Pop the lid on. now you need to leave this for about 5 to 7 days, giving it a stir every day. So this is what it should look like once it's been sitting for a few days and you stir it each day. You can see most of the colour has come out of the blackberries, and the juice is lovely and purpley from the blackberries. So I've been stirring this every day now for about 5 days, and I will show you what happens next. Okay, so the wine has now been sitting for about 5 days with me stirring it each day. Now the next thing to do is to get it into the Demijohn. So you'll need your Demijohn, a funnel and a sieve. What I'm going to do is take you down onto the floor, because I'm not very tall, and trying to do this up here, it's not going to be great. So let's do this down on the floor. So this is where it can get a bit messy. So what we've got to do is get this from here into here. So what I will do first, I'm going to strain into this bowl the liquid, certainly most of it. Fruit flies are buzzing around. I need to be quick with this. And then I want to pour this into here. So as you can see, it doesn't quite come up to here on the neck, so I'm just going to top that last bit up with a bit of cool water. And I'll fit my airlock nice and tight. I can see some of the blackberry pips have got in there, but when I siphon that off, that won't be a problem. I'll make sure I take it through a sieve when I siphon it off. So we will now leave that. Okay, so I've popped my airlock on, and I've now filled it up, as you can see, to just below the neck, just here. And I'll now leave this for a period of time until it stops fermenting, and there we have it, blackberry wine. Fantastic. Thanks again for joining me here on Mum's Homestead. I hope you'll join me again soon.